Streaming Usage Individual Comprehension Assignment for Intro to Media Studies. Right off the bat, let me just say I love streaming. I appreciate the mobility of it, that I can watch it when I travel or log into my accounts when I'm staying somewhere else. Admittedly, I consume a vast amount of media. I enjoy it as a way to escape, and there are many genres that appeal to me. The main value of streaming to me is that I can typically find something on one of the various applications that piques and holds my interest. In this way, I'm able to watch shows and movies that don't feel like a waste of my time, but improve the quality of my life and feed my brain. Gone are the days of channel surfing and settling on something mediocre or that you've seen 1,000 times. Although, with streaming, you can still do that too. I also enjoy that I have access to more obscure programming, such as indie films and international shows. I remember when Netflix first came out and sent DVDs in the mail. It was pivotal because suddenly the world opened up in terms of what my young mind could absorb and appreciate. With streaming, you're not beholden to broadcast schedules, censorship, or relentless commercials. It is akin to if someone gave you 20 books and it was all you ever had to read or know, and then one day they took you to a library for the first time where the options seemed endless. Of course, the flip side to a media landscape free of excessive advertising and rife with original content is that the price starts to add up. The production value of television has reached a level where prestige is the norm and not the occasional one-off as it was in the days of The Sopranos or Breaking Bad. Capitalism is a system that encourages you to always want more, need more, consume more. I've fallen victim to that when it comes to streaming. Once upon a time, it was sufficient to have just one or two streaming services. Particularly in the early eras of streaming when original content was minimal, you could essentially find what you wanted to watch or at least the next best thing. In order to stay up to date with the zeitgeist of pop culture and media now, it requires having multiple subscriptions which can end up compounding to be essentially the same price as cable. And many of these services are under the umbrella of the same parent company, such as Disney. In truth, I don't think there's much I would change about my current streaming habits. However, reading the chapter does make me more cognizant of the fact that 1, I'm privileged to be able to access all the content I desire, and 2, that might not always be the case. As the book pointed out, Trent suggests that the affordability of streaming services will only diminish in the future. It might come to a point where I, along with many others, have to rework the way we engage with television. Perhaps by rotating the subscriptions you have at any one time, by canceling one and replacing it with another. It would be a hassle, but not impossible. The other alternative is just to sacrifice watching certain things altogether, which would not necessarily be a negative in the grand scheme. It does make me wonder, though, if streaming becomes further out of reach for the majority, what does that mean for the streaming industry? They rely on consumers to fund every aspect of their business model, including production of original content. And once again, this reminds me that as much as we as a society are entrenched in the digital era, we have the ability to shape the way those industries evolve. It's a symbiotic relationship of supply and demand.